I'm just surprised at the level of domination. 230 rush yards for Florida State, 87 for Bama. Like 87. That's an earth whipping right there. Like that's a physical butt whipping behind the woodshed. That was absolutely crazy. Tommy Castanella's talked about it in the offseason, talked about what he wanted to do. Nick Saban wasn't there. And I tell you what, man, he started it off going 3 of 3 on the first drive and running it twice and scoring a touchdown. And him and Gus together carried that squad, man. And they had a big 31-17 win over Alabama week 1, man.
I mean, to walk the walk, I guess, is maybe the phrase of that. And just think how good he feels about. And I thought it was interesting during the broadcast. I don't know if it was Tess or Jesse that said it during the broadcast, but they said that after he said that, it was all of his teammates were almost like yeah, we got you. We got your back. That they enjoyed that they wanted. But to think that you went from 2-10 or whatever the heck that Florida State was a year ago to this, and it just shows that, one, coaching matters to the nth degree, and two, you get the right guy at the trigger position, it changes everything.
Yeah.
And they're the entirety of the outlook of their season now. Like they got to go to Virginia, but the next 2 games they should win. But they should be 4-0 hosting Miami on October the 4th.
Yeah,
and
that
the
becomes
ACC
now just got scarier. I mean, as much as we talked about them in the offseason, like Florida State, you've got a game-changing quarterback that can outrun just about anybody he plays, that can dictate to you. And here's the thing. We talked about this going into the season a little bit. He's also matched with the perfect coordinator. Gus Malzahn is the perfect offensive coordinator for a guy that can run. Like Nick Marshall and company. Like you see that. You've seen him have so much success paired with, let's not forget about the other side too. Like Tony White and that defense looked really good, getting TFLs, getting sacks. They looked a lot more like Alabama than the other side. And we talked about him on Podium Kims not too long ago, and just how he wasn't going to accept what it was. And they looked like it, man. They looked like a no nonsense. They played with energy. They played with emotion. They played hard. Like Florida State, man. From as bad as it was a year ago to announcing yourself week 1, like that is as good as it gets of a turnaround. And it was, you're right, new OC, new DC, new QB, and everything clicked tonight. And they looked ridiculous. Hey, they got multiple running backs. They got Lucas at the receiver spot. That's a gadget guy that's perfect for what Gus Malzahn does.
Got a jump ball guy in Robinson. Deuce
Robinson
from
it was unbelievable. I mean, Malik Dansby was the reverse king guy. He ran it a couple times. One was a touchdown. Another one was a 20-plus yard run. So Mekhi Dansby, he's fat. They had speed, but obviously with Tommy, that was the big win of the day. That was the biggest surprise to me. Like that was that was out of nowhere. And I guess we got to go to the Bama side too, don't we? Like we got to.
Yes, but I mean, one more thing I guess with Florida State is, and it's also I guess a Bama bad thing. They look like the more physical team and the faster team, and that was the just shocking thing watching it, is how much the speed, like, and aggression and just physical play that Florida State had. You mentioned the Bama running game. And I was curious because you watched it in the opening drive. They just ran it down their throat and went down and
scored.
Did. Yes, Bama did.
Bama started strong.
State. So I went back and looked. In the first quarter, Bama was, and which, by the way, most of this is the first drive. They were 50-50 run-pass percentage. The rest of the game, so second, third, fourth quarter, 19% run, 81% pass. And then you got their coach, who is has a bit of a success history against Alabama with
you
Malzahn.
You gotta love it, Gus Malzahn immediately.
But that's awesome, by the way. That's
feels
fantastic.
Like old times tonight is what he tweeted. I'm here for it. You know my opinion on that, Brent. Like I'm here for all of that. Like I love it when Lane Kiffin does it. That we should have more of this in the sport, man. More trolling, more saying it and putting it out there. But that's a big win for Gus, obviously. And, obviously he went through a big transition it from Auburn to UCF, and now coming back
Norvell.
and having a lot of success. But here's the thing with Bama. What plagued Bama a year ago when we watched them? Pass rush, didn't see it, non-existent. What plagued Bama a year ago, Brent? Penalties. Penalties were a big, like not being able to get to the quarterback, too many penalties that were costly penalties at inopportune times. You saw that again. And then Ty Simpson, you know, both Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, I don't know if it's the EA Sports cover curse, but they both dropped multiple balls. Like, you didn't see that a year ago. They both didn't make plays for their quarterback. But Ty Simpson, while Julian Sand, who we're going to get to in a second, looked very controlled and comfortable, Ty Simpson didn't. And he was scrambling around. His receivers didn't help him. The identity of the team didn't look much better than it did a year ago. And, I mean, the play clock coming down, but, like, it was sloppy. And now Alabama's lost 3 of their last 4 games, Brent. 3 of their last 4 games. Like, think about that, man. Like, that's like 4 seasons for Saban at one point, or maybe even more than that at one point.
Well, and you see, like, when you see them lose, and especially now with DeBoer and losing to unranked teams, and that, you know, there's so many stats that you can look at about what he's done versus unranked teams. Or I even saw one where they're favored by at least 2 touchdowns. Saban was 131-2, and DeBoer is now 4-4 when favored by 2 touchdowns. That's pure insanity. That's just not the standard. That's not what it is. And then you see the people who are the Bama beat writers that are just saying, just for your reference, the contract says this. I mean, all those things that
it's like 70 million buyout, ain't it?
Yes. Oh, it's a lot. It's right up around there. But
hey, listen, let's not fire him yet either. There's a lot of time to. Ty Simpson will settle in more. The weapons look pretty decent. The running game needs to be more consistent. The offensive line needs to be better up front with protection and with paving holes. But I do think that you got to clean up the penalties, man. It can't keep happening. That's the kind of stuff that drives you nuts as a fan.
Well, so, you know, we talked the other day about podium kings and reading between the lines of what the coaches say. I'm going to read between the lines of what you're saying. They're not as detailed in the coaching aspect. No, they just aren't.
They aren't.
They aren't. And it's evident, and every fan that watches them to the nth degree, it's quite evident. And that's, by the way, when you are typically more individually talented, you know, at least from a recruiting standpoint, all the things that go into that, pros, when you're detailed, your talent always will win out. When you're not detailed, you're sloppy, you're doing all these things, it takes away any talent advantage that you potentially have.